Serena Williams, Maria Sharapova, Nicole Scherzinger. Not to turn the Toronto Star into Star Weekly, the pulpy celebrity gossip mag, but that Grigor Dimitrov fellow sure does get around in bold-faced dating circles. Grigor Dimitrov returns the ball to Frances Tiafoe during his 7-6, 3-6, 7-6 victory Thursday at the Rogers Cup. Frank Gunn, the Canadian press, Scherzinger, the former Pussycat doll, has been the Bulgarians' arm candy for a couple of years now. A handsome couple, witness holiday pics from Saint-Tropez last week. And Dimitrov certainly knows how to make a paparazzi entrance, walking various red carpets with his enamorata, spiffed up in designer tuxedos to match her eye-pop daring couture, the current Vogue apparently demanding that as much flesh should be seen without being obscene. Nicole is 40-something hot. Article continued below. Dimitrov likes his ladies older, bully for him. Williams was a decade his senior when they dated. Arch-rival Sharapova, though perhaps more accurate to call their mutual sniping a feud rather than a rivalry, was 4 years older. None of the women are at the cougar stage. But Dimitrov made quite a name for himself as a Casanova, cad or charmer, depending on your point of view, long before his tennis fame caught up with his romancing game. Here's Sharapova, revisiting how they got together in 2012, in her autobiography, Unstoppable, My Life So Far, after Dimitrov had contacted her agent. I googled Grigor's name to find his age. Was he even legal? 21. Barely. Give him my email. I remembered noticing a kid walking through Wimbledon Village, tall, skinny and carrying a type of good-looking grin that say he knows he's good-looking. I remembered telling my coach, thank goodness he didn't exist in my generation, that would have been dangerously distracting. A few back and forths with email, and Grigor asked for my number. Article continued below. They parted ways during Wimbledon in 2015, Sharapova glum watching her boyfriend's match after she'd already been eliminated. So his good memory was my bad memory. Read more. Youth on rise in world of tennis, but there's still a ways to go. Djokovic, Shapovalov ousted in third round from Rogers Cup. Dimitrov moving on to the blonde glamazon with hardly a backward glance purportedly got up Williams' nose. But I'd say life has come up roses for the greatest female tennis player ever, arguably the greatest tennis player ever, period. Now Mrs. Alexis Ohanian and over the moon new mum. In an interview with La Repubblica late last year, his best career year, Dimitrov observed, let's forget the cliché on girlfriends, from Serena to Sharapova. I say it's easy to get lost in beauty, but is it a mistake then? It's not that. In my life I entered the McLaren store, merchandise emporium of the British Formula One team, and bought everything I wanted. That's why today, with Nicole, my current girlfriend, I pay attention to privacy. Nicole Scherzinger is Bulgarian tennis player Grigor Dimitrov's latest love. Chris Pizzello, envision. Anyway, my point, and I do have one, is that Dimitrov has a whole ton of brass, whether courting or on court. Maybe an athlete needs that to find success on the elite pro circuit, in a sport which can be as bitchy and randy as figure skating. Dimitrov, somewhat domesticated these days at the love-wizened age of 27, has put tennis back at the center of his existence, re-energized by the pro optics of 2018, which concluded on the most triumphant note of his career, winning the ATP Finals Championships at O2 Arena in London and rising to world No. 3, only Bulgarian ever in the top 10. When you think Bulgaria, you don't think tennis. Actually, I'm not sure what anybody thinks when they think Bulgaria. This year has been a bit of a regression for the man who used to be known as baby-fed, slumping to a 20-13 match record, failing to make the semis of any tournament since Monte Carlos in April, out of the competitive fray since losing his opening round at Wimbledon against Stan Wawrinka, and with a truckload of points to defend. In the swing again at Rogers Cup, Dimitrov was made to work hard in a first-round win over veteran Fernando Verdasco and got himself out of a 1-4 tiebreak jam on Thursday against 20-year-old American Frances Tiafoe, ouster of Milos Raonic, on the right side of a 7-6, 3-6, 7-6 outcome. Next-gen bright thing TFO is one of the most uplifting stories in tennis, son of a Sierra Leone refugee who'd spent 3 years working the horrific diamond mines, then employed as a laborer in the construction of a Maryland tennis complex. So good at the job that constant TFO was hired as custodian of the tennis club, his twin sons Francis and Franklin growing up on the premises, nurtured by the game. At the Aviva Center this week, TFO, Big Fo, as he's known, has been the recipient of blown kisses from Mom Alfina in the stands. She's having the time of her life, and girlfriend Diane Broomfield, a UCLA senior, who is actually from Toronto, though TFO had never been here before. "I'm sure my girlfriend will take me around to see the city now that he has some spare time, sadly. He made some bones here, though, at the Rogers Cup, in what has become a breakout season that includes his first ATP Tour title, at Delray Beach, becoming the youngest American title winner since Andy Roddick, taking out Juan Martín del Potro and Denis Shapovalov in the process. Number 41 in the rankings now and climbing. I've had a great season. I didn't think it would happen this quick against Dimitrov, however, and despite a second-set surge, TFO was outwitted and outnerved when he should have had his opponent in his crosshairs. Felt I gave it to him at the end. At 4-2, all he had to do was take care of his serve but ran into an unforced error on the forehand. That's one I'd like to have back," after which Dimitri simply imposed himself on the match, becoming the first man into the quarterfinals. At the press conference which followed, it took all of 30 seconds for Dimitrov to charm the room. And suddenly it was easier to understand how he gained the affection of some mighty powerful women. Something in that wry smile. Something in the intense cocoa bean eyes. "I felt a bit more experience in that situation," he said, of disrupting TFO's rhythm in the tie-break. "I knew what I had to do in order to win." Then he spoke about pressures, inside and outside of tennis, the negative talk, everything that has been coming my way. "I don't care about it. I mean, I have my inside voice, the coo and woo voice, I imagine." Rosie DiManno is a columnist based in Toronto covering sports and current affairs. Follow her on Twitter, @Rodem.